You have iPhone 13 Pro Max and want Apple's new iPhone 14 Pro Max? But you wonder what's the difference between these two Apple phones? So you can make your decision? Let's find out. I have two phones here on the table. This silver one is Apple's brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max. And this one is iPhone 13 Pro Max. Both of these phones are absolutely amazing phones. But I'm gonna be breaking down all the differences between these two phones and trying to focus on what matters most in daily users' life. So let's get into it and start a comparison of iPhone 13 Pro Max and iPhone 14 Pro Max. Starting with the design and overall look of these two devices. As you can see, they are pretty much the same phone. If you take pictures of 13 Pro Max and with caption of 14 Pro Max, you can't judge unless you are familiar with colors. And if you look very carefully, you can notice while you holding them that the phone is a fair thinner than 13 Pro Max. In fact, they are almost the same in weight as well. The iPhone 13 Pro Max is available in graphite silver, gold alpine, green, and Sierra blue. And iPhone 14 Pro Max offers silver, gold, space black, and the new deep purple. Aside from looks and colors, there are only two noticeable differences in appearance. Camera edges in iPhone 14 Pro Max are larger and have higher bumps as compared to iPhone 13 Pro Max. And the second difference is regional. What I mean is, in the United States, Apple has removed the SIM tray and the user would be using eSIM only. However, in Europe and other parts of the world, Apple still offers physical SIM trays. Now let's come to the internal changes. The first major upgrade is the processor. iPhone 13 has the A15 Bionic processor, and you will be getting the new A16 Bionic chip in iPhone 14 Pro, which boosts up the device's overall speed and performance. But to be honest, in my daily usage, I personally can't see performance difference in both devices. Both devices are available in 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte of internal storage. Each of these devices support 5G. But here, I noticed some difference. As I used to have both of these phones with me all the time, 5G speed is much better on iPhone 14 Pro Max than 13 Pro Max. And in some areas, the iPhone 13 Pro Max fails to catch 5G signals. But on iPhone 14 Pro Max, I still get strong 5G connection. This is probably due to an additional antenna on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. However, both devices support Wi-Fi 6. And Bluetooth connectivity has been improved on the new iPhone 14 Pro with 5.3, whereas the iPhone 13 is limited to Bluetooth 5.0. And another significant internal feature in the new 14 series of iPhone is that it comes with satellite connection, which means if you were stuck somewhere and lost your cellular connection, you would still be able to call emergency services. All you need to do is take your phone under the sky and start this emergency SOS function. You'll be asked a few questions, like what kind of emergency you have, if there is anybody injured and like that, so they can send the service on priority. First, Apple will deliver a message of emergency. If they do not entertain the message would be automatically transcribed on your behalf. In addition to that, the iPhone 14 Pro Max is equipped with crash protection, which means if you have been detected in any kind of automobile accident, this phone is equipped with a gyroscope and accelerometer which can detect 3 kinds of collisions: front, sides, or rollovers. Now coming to the major upgrade of iPhone 14 Pro Max, which is its camera. The upgrade is not limited only in the A16 Bionic processor. In fact, the hardware of the camera is also upgraded. Camera has a 48-megapixel wide-angle sensor, so you have ultra-wide, wide, and a telephoto lens. And with major camera upgrades, the low light performance has gone to the next level. Talking about the zoom, you can zoom up to 0.5 times with ultra-wide, 1 time with wide, 2 times with 12 megapixel camera in the middle, and 3 times zoom with a telephoto lens. Other than that, Apple has added a new action mode which provides a fantastic stabilized shot like never before. But with this action mode, you will be getting only 2.8K video. But I think in the next iPhone, we will be getting 4K in action mode. In addition to that, we have cinematic mode, which provide a phenomenal blur and smooth background, which we usually get with high-end mirrorless cameras. You can shoot with cinematic mode in 4K resolution, 24 frames per second and 30 frames per second. And now coming to the front-facing camera. Apple has added the autofocus true depth camera system, so you never go out of focus during video calls or shooting vlogs with your front camera. And finally, let's talk about the display. Now the first thing is its brightness. You will be up to 2000 nits brightness when you are outside. However, compared to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, you won't consider this update much. But if it's really sunny outside, the iPhone 14 Pro would do a great job. In addition to that, you will be getting the one-time refresh in 1 second. It also comes with always-on display, so you can see all the notifications and pop-ups all the time. But the smartness of this feature is, if you are driving or sleeping, your display will be off so you get distracted. But I always have this feature turned off to save battery. Now coming to another coolest feature in its display, which is Dynamic Island. This is actually the same thing we have in previous iPhones, but this time it has some functions. You can see and control your live activities like music, battery life of your buds, connectivity, notifications, and much more. Before, all these notifications used to pop up separately on top of the screen. But now in iPhone 14 Pro, everything is happening within the Dynamic Island. Now you don't have to scroll down and find the app to check the notifications. All you need to do is long hold the Dynamic Island and it will give you access to the app and control. So that's it. Those were the biggest changes Apple has made in iPhone 14 Pro Max as compared to iPhone 13 Pro Max. Let me know in the comment section what features made you buy the new iPhone 14 Pro Max. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.